I'm Max Pringle with these headlines. The Supreme Court has delayed a decision on whether women seeking access to a widely used abortion pill would face more restrictions while the court case plays out. The court had initially given itself a Wednesday deadline, but has extended it to at least Friday night. Eileen Alfandary reports.
Mifepristone is used in more than half of all abortions. With a decision now expected Friday, the court has options. Imani Gandhi is a senior editor of law and policy at Rewire News Group and co-hosts the podcast Boom Lawyered.
So I think that it very well may be that the claims for standing will be too much for the Supreme Court, and they would rather wait for a case where they can end medication abortion or reduce access to medication abortion without essentially stepping on a rake and hitting themselves in the face.
The justices could keep mifepristone available under current rules while the case makes its way through the courts. Or, Gandhi says, the justices could let the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals decision stand. That ruling said the Texas judge went too far in banning the use of mifepristone altogether. I'm Eileen Alfandary for KPFA News.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention simplified its recommendations on the COVID-19 vaccines on Wednesday. Under the new guidelines, people who have at least one booster shot targeting the Omicron variant will be considered up to date in their vaccinations. The new guidelines allow another dose of the bivalent booster for people who are 65 and older or who have weakened immune systems and who want the option of added protection against the coronavirus. The move aligns with Tuesday's FDA actions to allow these groups to get additional booster doses ahead of the fall vaccination campaign. On Wednesday, members of CDC's Advisory Committee for Immunization Practices met to discuss the changes and expressed their support for them, although the committee did not vote. Multiple tornadoes slammed Oklahoma Wednesday, killing 2 people. Strong storms with tornadoes destroyed homes and left thousands without power. More severe storms were predicted for tonight. The National Weather Service began issuing tornado and severe thunderstorm warnings Wednesday evening in Oklahoma, Kansas, and Iowa, with forecasters warning people to find shelter. Central Oklahoma saw tornadoes, including one that raced through the communities of Shawnee and Cole. At least 2 people were killed in the small town of Cole in McLean County, about 25 miles south of Oklahoma City. There are also numerous injuries reported. McLean County Deputy Sheriff Scott Gibbons told NBC there is a potential for additional deaths to be confirmed.
We do have 2 confirmed fatalities. One was at the scene. One was a person who's being transported from the scene who appears to have passed of a heart-related issue in combination with the storm.
The storms knocked down power lines, toppled trees, and damaged homes and other buildings. Local officials said at the peak of the severe weather, more than 23,000 customers were without electricity throughout Oklahoma. 3 suspects have been arrested and charged with shooting up a 16th birthday party last weekend in Alabama. 17-year-old Tyreek McCullough, his 16-year-old brother Travis McCullough, and 20-year-old Wilson Lamar Hill have been arrested and charged with reckless murder after a shooting that killed 4 young people at a Sweet 16 birthday party in Alabama. District Attorney Mike Segrest said Wednesday that the 2 teens would be charged as adults with reckless murder and that the 20-year-old faces that same charge. Saturday's violence shocked the rural community of Dadeville. Authorities say 32 people were wounded and 4 remain in critical condition. Fighting continues in Sudan after another attempted truce failed Wednesday. Many residents of the capital, Khartoum, have tried to flee the city amid a power struggle between the army and a paramilitary group. More from Feature Story News' Naba Muhaddin in Khartoum.
The fighting is still happening in different places, including the military headquarters. Just right behind me, we can see smoke and we hear explosions and gunfire. So the situation is not improving and it's not getting any calmer. People are still suffering from power outages and water shortages and vital necessities. They can't purchase it because all of the mobile application systems right now are not working. They can't buy electricity. They can't buy anything. the factories and companies right now, they can't come and cannot operate very well, and they cannot distribute food in the shops. So people right now are relying on very short supply they have, and the health situation, particularly with some hospitals being targeted and bombed.
That's Nada Muhuddin, and I'm Max Pringle. You're listening to Sojourner Truth on Pacifica Radio.